This week on At Your Leisure, we're off on a Daniel Summit summer excursion as we join the folks at UTV Utah and Karl Malone for a fun-filled ride in the mountains. Then, we're going to learn about some of the history of the mining towns of Rainbow and Watson as we head out to the Uinta Basin to visit the Outlaw ATV Jamboree. Finally, we're following the Steadman clan as they take us out for a fun-filled day of dirt bike races at the 2019 Sage Riders Desert Race. It's all riding your way right now. At Your Leisure is next.
Chad, it looks so different in the summertime. Daniel Summit Lodge. Still spectacular, but you can actually see the beautiful greenery.
Doesn't matter if it's a snowmobile or a UTV, it's a perfect place to be.
Right now it is for sure.
Hi everybody, welcome to At Your Leisure. I'm Chad Booth.
And I'm Maria Rossi Booth.
And we are up at Daniel Summit Lodge for the UTV Utah big spring ride, or big summer ride, I guess it's actually a big summer ride. This was a whole idea that was kind of put together by Karl Malone and UTV, and they said, you know what, we need to get as many members of our club as we can and get up on the hill. So it's so big, they've divided it not into one ride, but three.
Wow.
3 different trails. It's like the green circle, the blue square, and the black diamond. I'm trying to keep it in the ski resort.
But we're not going to be in black diamond, are we?
Maybe.
I'll be like biting my nails.
Anyway, let's find out a little bit about the club and the event.
This event is right here at Daniel Summit Lodge. Last night was kind of a social aspect. People that came up to stay here at the lodge, we came up, everybody parked their machines, and we had a little show and shine that showed off all the machines and socialized with everybody, and it's huge. Honestly, we knew we would have a lot of people because of where it's at. It's up high in the mountains, and the weather, it's one of the first weekends that's really nice. But we're gonna have 150 machines here today, 150 to 200 machines, and anywhere from 200 to 400 people. 100% free, come out and join us. We've got 3 different trails that we're gonna do. They range from easy to medium to expert. Part of UTV Utah is the average person goes 3 places. They have the 3 places that they feel the most comfortable with. In UTV Utah, we're trying to expand that to 7 or 8. So I've never ridden up here. I'm really excited. I'm excited to go hit the trails and see what they are, and then maybe come back with my friends and family. We didn't anticipate ever growing this large. We've got over 13,000 members in the state, but it started off as about a dozen buddies that created a group to kind of showcase our rides and take pictures, and then from there it's just blown up and evolved, and now we're into, you know, OHV friendly legislation and keeping trails open, and we've got involved in the legislation of the OHV side. We do a lot of organized cleanups. In fact, we've got a couple in the works right now that we're doing. We do a lot of charity rides where we give back to the community. So we do a little bit of everything, and all of our rides are free. Nobody ever pays to join our rides.
You know, this group, UTV Utah, has got to be one of the most enthusiastic groups I have ever run across. They've got thousands of members, and let's just look at this. This is just one part of the group or gathering today that's been up at Daniel Summit, and there are people riding all over these hills.
It is. It's a really cool club. It's a real tight-knit group, you can tell. They all have their families out here with them and their little babies in their car seats. I mean, honestly, this is just a family adventure like primo.
So one of the things I noticed here just a few minutes ago, as soon as a group got out, the family, the kids started picking up trash. It's like they're so well trained.
It's so true.
It's like the first thing they do is just, okay, this is time to do this part.
It is. This is just a wonderful, wonderful outing.
Well, right now we're going to leave this fun group and we're going to head off to this week's Where To adventure.
The Uintah Basin. It has a rich history, full of booming success and, unfortunately, tragic loss. Abandoned ghost towns scatter the basin from Dragon, Utah on the eastern border to Bullionville in the southern Uintah Mountains. The Uintah Outlaw ATV Jamboree recently explored these places through the trails across the county.
Jamboree, we have 11 trails. We've got them anywhere from up on the mountain. We've got one trail left up there that we went and did. The rest of them are ranged from around Vernal to south of Vernal, which is where we're at now on this one, which is about the furthest trail we go on out here. This is an old mining trail. This is where they mined gilsonite. This was done back in the early 1900s and late 1800s. Of course, gilsonite's still going on, but there's 4 or 5 ghost towns out here. we go through.
Two of those towns are Watson and Rainbow. Each were dependent on the mining of gilsonite. Gilsonite has a shiny obsidian look, but is soft and can be broken down and reduced to a powder. Gilsonite is still used today and has a number of commercial and industrial uses, from dyes and pigments to being used by the oil and gas industry. To support all of the mining efforts at Rainbow and Watson, each of those towns were built by the miners and their families. Schools were built, a railway ran through the town, and for a time, it seemed that these settlements would grow into thriving communities. As time moved on, it became cheaper to move the gilsonite by truck, and eventually the railway was shut down, and the town had little or nothing to offer. The railway was torn up and turned into scrap, and all that remains are a few old dugout homes, the faint line where the train used to run, and the veins of the Rainbow mine still exposed for explorers.
Behind us there's some old gilsonite veins, and they called it Rainbow, was the name of the mine. Some of them crevices that you see back behind there, they go down 300-400 feet. A little bit of forgotten history that you can imagine, back in the early 1900s, what took place.
Jeff and his family will never forget this ghost town, as their family is truly tied to the old gilsonite mines.
Actually, my great-grandfather met my great-grandmother out here. He worked for the gilsonite mines, and she worked for the old the Dragon motel that was out here at the time. So we've got a little history out here.
This destination on the Jamboree is only half the fun. It's the people you meet and the memories made that bring people back year after year.
It's nice to go out with a whole bunch of different people and ride. I think it's fun. I mean, in Phoenix we don't really go out with this many. There's not this many amount of people that go out right at a time. I mean, the rides are awesome up here too. Like it's totally different landscape out here than it is probably anywhere else in the world.
Years ago we lived in this area, and we still got a lot of good friends and acquaintances. We just come up to get together and spend the weekend and enjoy the ride. There's a lot of good country. Every place in Utah there's a lot of good country, but Uintah Basin's got whatever you need, about 40 miles in either direction, or whatever direction you travel. You got mountains and trees, or desert and some sand, so we just like this ride.
The Outlaw ATV Jamboree happens during the spring every year, and it's open to anyone who has an ATV and truly enjoys to ride. Keep a lookout for next year's. We'll see you on the Jamboree Trail. For At Your Leisure, I'm Joe Davis.
Hi, I'm Nolan Steadman.
And I'm Bruce Steadman.
We've been selling motorcycles like this since 1960.
Motorcycling has been part of our family forever.
We love riding and enjoying the outdoors, everything that Utah has to offer. Riding motorcycles, snowmobiles, ATVs, and now side-by-sides. That's what we do, it's who we are.
Steadman's Recreation in Tooele. We've been proudly serving Utah's families for over 50 years.
Steadman's Recreation in Tooele. You may think it's 300 miles out there, but remember, it's only 30 back.
Give us the work no one else wants to do. We don't just go against the grain, we grow it. Give us the frontiers, the places where success is measured and pushed limits. Give us the middle of nowhere, where the only map is your buddy's tread marks. This life, no one's born ready for it.
Since 1935, Utah's most entertaining rodeo has been coming to you from Nephi, Utah. And again this year, you won't be disappointed, as we'll be featuring top cowboys, cowgirls competing for the largest prize purse ever. 3 days of family fun and entertainment. The City of Fun Carnival, parades, the rodeo to feature the beauty, the grace, and the speed of Madison McDonald, magic in motion. Barrowman Matt Merritt to make you laugh. Flying U, Flying Cowboy Motorcycle Team, July the 11th, 12th, 13th, Joab County Fairgrounds, 8 p.m. nightly, the Ute Stampede.
This week's What's New segment is brought to you by Tunex. More than just tune-ups, on a hot summer's day, we are air conditioning.
Alrighty, welcome back to At Your Leisure. What are we doing today, Bill?
We're doing Dutch oven citrus salmon, citrus grilled salmon, and it's wonderful, fresh from Alaska.
Salmon is my favorite, so I'm very excited. So what do we have going on in here?
We've been cooking about 5 minutes on each side. We want to check it out a little bit. I like to start on the salmon side first, and it's been cooking long enough we can take and flip it over the skin side. We've got olive oil in the base. We've got some nummy olive oil, and then also we've got some garlic and some onions. And we put a little bit on that side of Tuscan garlic seasoning. Let's just sprinkle a little bit more on this side now. Okay, so we got this cooking away, and we've got about 5 more minutes on that side.
I think I can smell it. I'm so excited. Okay. Oh, wow. Look at that.
Now let's just lift it up. Now the thickest part, check the thick part and make sure it's not raw in the middle there.
Yeah.
And you want to cook it until it's flaky. Now sometimes the skin will come off. The skin protects it so you don't get it blackened, you know, like you're cooking in Louisiana or something like that. See, and that's looking real good. Let's leave it maybe a couple more minutes. See, it's starting to flake a little bit here.
We're just not quite there yet?
No.
All right.
Almost. About a minute, 2 minutes left.
Okay.
Let's check this now. It's been 1 or 2 minutes.
I know, I feel like I can feel it getting ready. Oh my goodness, look at that.
Yeah, part of this is thicker than over here, and so that's going to cook faster. You don't want it to dry out, and so let's take a piece from here. Remember, we still have the skin on the bottom. Here's your spoon.
So excited.
Go ahead and spoon off that side. Now remember, do not burn your tongue. If you burn your tongue, you won't be able to taste anything properly for 2 whole days.
Well, I definitely want to taste the salmon, so I won't do that.
Okay, do the arm lock again.
All right.
Okay, you ready? Here we go.
Oh my goodness.
Does that mean it's good?
Wow. All right, this salmon was so good. Thank you so much for showing us.
You're very welcome.
Everyone, thanks for watching. We'll be right back with more At Your Leisure after this commercial break.
Kawasaki Mule side-by-sides are some of the toughest machines around. Work hard or play hard. With the new Mule Pro MX, you don't have to choose. It's about having the right machine to fit the way you live. And it's about strength. The all-new Mule Pro MX, the strongest, because I said so.
I promised my son that if he got straight A's, we would take a guys trip, just the 2 of us. We were riding on a trail outside a place called Minersville, Utah. There was so much to explore and the trail just kept climbing higher, right to the top of a mountain called Jack's Peak. We just stood there with the whole world below us, not saying much. In fact, not a word. Later, my son turned to me and said, "I love you, Dad." Suddenly, I realized we weren't just camping, we were connecting.
Paris RV is blowing out all remaining 2019 inventory right now. Get the 2019 Viking 10 trailer 1706 XLS at only $81.72 or $99 a month, 0 down. Or the 2019 Mesa Ridge 26 BH bunkhouse at only $17,684 or $180 a month, 0 down. Or get the 2019 Puma 286 RB SS fifth wheel at $28,688 or $248 a month, 0 down.
If you want a super low price, you come see me at Paris RV.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure, everybody. Well, there is nothing like a beautiful ride at the start of the summer. It is green and lush and gorgeous up here.
That's true. You know, it's verdant in the springtime, particularly this year, and the water is rushing cool and clear. It's like the staff of life.
Truly.
And of course, every season of the year is a great ride, but there's just that something about the beginning of life in the spring that makes these kinds of trips just like you want to stretch your wings and fly.
I know. It's so gorgeous.
Of course, that's our opinion. I don't know what everybody else on the ride thinks, but let's find out a little bit about the trail we're on today.
I love this time of year. It's cool. You can get out and you still stay cool. It's not too hot. It's still green, water everywhere. It's a great time to get out.
I guess I kind of personally had a little bit of reservations because I have my baby with us, and so I was a little bit worried about the terrain, but it's been really nice. It's been smooth. The scenery has been beautiful.
I went down there and I played with the snow for a little bit and my hands froze. And then I came up here to get my gloves and put them on. There was a big mud puddle, but we didn't go through it. But when we're going back, my dad is gonna go through it.
It's brought our family so close. The kids love it. So we just try to go anywhere and everywhere. And, you know, fighting to keep the trails open because so many people are trying to close different trails and keep us out. We're just out to have a good time, you know, just beautiful scenery. Yeah. And we saw beaver dams, little lakes all over the place, rivers, and the kids love it. They see the wildlife, they see everything. It's a good experience for everybody.
Rhea, there's certainly been a lot to see on the trail today, as our friends now know. What is the thing that makes you the most happy?
Well, I am really impressed with these beautiful little yellow flowers that are just sprouting up through the earth. They're gorgeous. They're so cute.
That's true. I thought all the bloom would be gone by now, but really I guess this would come after the desert because the snow, as you see behind us, is still just melting away. You know what makes me really happy though?
I do know.
It's what's behind us. At last, the Wasatch Cache is thinning some trees with some timber sales to help make the forests healthier. And we have seen these cleared areas with timber sales that have been going on, some nice big logs of trees that otherwise would have died and burned up in a fire.
Exactly. But you know what? It makes you just want to build a log home now. I think we should do that.
Yeah, well,
tomorrow.
There's surveillance cameras. We can't come up here and pilfer these. We have to buy them.
We have to buy it. It says for sale on there.
All right. Anyway, right now it's time for us to go to our Along the Way.
When it comes to family activities, dirt biking might not be the first thing that comes to your mind. But for Kirk Steadman and his family, it's the perfect way to bond.
We are at the National Hare and Hound Association Desert Race at Cherry Creek, Utah. So out in the middle of the desert. Came down with my family. I got my wife and my 4 kids. All of my kids race with me.
I've been desert racing since I was 5 years old. But we're out racing every other weekend, and so we spend a lot of time together.
There's definitely a different bond when we're camping. We don't have as many distractions. You don't have the cell phones and the TV, and we just have each other.
These hare and hound races are a one-of-a-kind off-roading race that have categories for all ages and riding levels, which attracts riders from across the nation.
So a typical desert race year, there's about 12 races in the year. We don't hit all of them, but we hit usually about 10 to 11 of the 12. The Pee-wee race is the funnest because it's shorter, so you see it multiple times, you can cheer them on. But even with the mini and the big bike races, when you come through pits or you see somebody at a road crossing or something and they're cheering you on, it just gives you that extra, oh yeah, let's go.
I feel like we all, it's all just kind of a connection between all of us. Like, we all understand, the feeling that we get riding. I love it. It's a good family experience coming out here, and I'm definitely a lot closer to my family just being able to come out here and hang out.
The racing world is intrinsically competitive, but this Steadman clan has used it to bring their family closer together. These races provide them with the chance to teach their children invaluable lessons, and then to watch those lessons come to life.
My dad's taught me how to up, and he's taught me how to like a dirt bike. I just think helping other people is better than winning. It makes me feel really good, especially when I help bigger people.
You learn a lot of like sportsmanship, and like you're always looking out for one another, and like you'd expect someone to do the same thing for you that you do for them. So like if they're stuck, you help them, and if you're stuck, they'll help you. Going out there, it really helps with like my mental, like just being able to push myself and like to my full potential.
The noise, dirt, and sportsmanship bring them all together. But even after the dust settles, the fun doesn't stop.
There's a creek that goes through the land out here, and every Sunday we always go out and we go to it, and we'll just play around in the water because it gets really hot down here. It's just so much fun just to spend time with my family.
My favorite part is just having fun, going to the creek, and just hanging out with my family.
With the impact that racing together has had on this family, it's no surprise that they won't be giving it up anytime soon.
I'll be excited when, you know, the grandkids are doing it, and it'll be fun.
For sure. I will definitely be passing on this tradition down to my family when I have a family of my own. Like me teaching my kids how to ride, and me being a grandma on a bike.
How old are you going to be when you stop riding dirt bikes?
1,000.
It looks like the family that dirt bikes together stays together. For At Your Leisure, I'm Derek Dowsett.
What is it that gets us out here to the middle of nowhere? What makes us choose the sweltering heat instead of our air-conditioned homes and swimming pools? Usually, it's just some friendly trash talk. And we wouldn't have it any other way.
There's a little place on a Utah map where I was raised, where my heart's at, where the sagebrush grows wild and high, and the stars come out at night. Oh, there ain't nothing like being raised in the basin with a Ute reservation, skiing starvation, that Duchesne County life.
When we go on vacation, I never ask, are we there yet? Because my daddy makes sure each stop we make is at Eagles Landing. They have such cool things for kids, like a petting zoo. They have the cleanest bathrooms on earth, and Daddy doesn't freak out pulling up to the pumps, because they're really big and he says it's the best gas in the world. And you can get your tire fixed, like we had to. Oh, and their food is so yummy. Eagles Landing is so much fun, I don't care if we ever get there.
Since 1935, Utah's most entertaining rodeo has been coming to you from Nephi, Utah. And again this year, you won't be disappointed as we'll be featuring top cowboys, cowgirls competing for the largest prize purse ever. 3 days of family fun and entertainment. The City of Fun Carnival, parades, the rodeo to feature the beauty, the grace, and the speed of Madison McDonald, magic in motion. Barrowman Matt Merritt to make you laugh. Flying U, Flying Cowboy Motorcycle Team, July the 11th, 12th, 13th, Juab County Fairgrounds, 8 p.m. nightly, the Ute Stampede.
Yeehaw!
Look at that.
This view.
15th of June, and we're just in time for a snowball fight.
Seriously. Welcome back to At Your Leisure, everybody. We are, okay, so we have Daniel Summit over here, and we have Current Creek over here, and we are right in the center of it. Are we not?
Right on a ridge that looks both directions. This
Gorgeous.
is beautiful scenery up here. I believe we're up at about 9,500 feet above sea level.
Oh, no wonder why I need an oxygen tank. My heart's beating like a rabbit. It is really high up here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is a great little machine, too, to get us up here. We're in Karl Malone's little Wolverine. It's a Yamaha, right?
That's correct. So we actually had a chance a few weeks ago to ride one of these that Steadman gave to us when we were down at the ATV Jamboree in Kanab.
And it was just as nice.
And we talked about some of the things there,
Yeah.
but the thing that we didn't talk about is the back seat arrangement. And we got 3 people with us today, but even with the seats, all of them all the way back, you still have a tailgate and some cargo space about like this. But if you don't need that extra passenger, you can fold that seat up and slide it forward,
Right.
kind of like in a minivan or something, and you create more cargo space. So we have the ability to haul all of Ria's stuff, which is 5 times as much as the camera gear, and make it all fit.
That is so not true. But that is a cute, it's like a little pickup truck. I love it. It really is a comfy little deal.
True. Well, we got a lot of business to get to today, and somewhere right past the snowball fight over that hill, I think if we look hard, we'll find a sticker winner. This week's contest winner is Andrew Mark Prestridge, who submitted this picture to us on Facebook. Congratulations, Andrew. You are the lucky winner of a Mountain Series stove from Camp Chef, the best way to get your cooking in the outdoors. And don't forget, if you get caught sporting an Eagles Landing sticker, there's an extra $100 gas and gift card to get that clear 91 ethanol-free fuel. Real gasoline. Now, let's take a look at the calendar of events. We've got one big event on the horizon that you should pay attention to. The week of July 12th, it's the Ute Stampede Rodeo in Juab County. This is one of the best rodeos in the state. There's so much fun. They got a carnival going on, lots of action and shows. The parachuting guys coming down at the beginning. It'll be a great night. We'll be there. We'll look for you. Now, let's take a look at next week's show. Next week, our friends Gina and Kevin Mortensen are taking us to a desert in bloom, just in the nick of time to catch some of the spring beauty down near Tickaboo, Utah. Then, we're off to San Pete County as we visit the Palisades and Yuba State Parks for a fun-filled day of riding and boating, all packed into one. Finally, Reistein is off on another adventure to one of the best preserved medieval cities of the world. He's going to show us around Estonia. Well, next week's show looks like it's going to be pretty good. It'll be hard to top today, though, and you can measure our success today by the amount of mud on all the machines.
Yeah, that shows how much fun we had, really.
That's true, and I felt a little bit guilty because we got Karl Malone's Yamaha all muddy, and I'm used to cleaning stuff up before I take it back to people. My dad taught me better, but they said, okay, we got guys to do it.
Yeah, no, that looks fantastic with all that dirt on it.
You're right, it makes them look better, huh?
Yeah.
Well, we do want to thank Karl Malone for providing us the ride today. We want to thank UTV Utah for inviting us to another one of their events. This is a lot of people, and they are a lot of fun.
Yeah, and Daniel Summit is like the perfect place to have this event. It was great.
You know, they've got a special up here. If you pay for one night, you get the next night free in the summertime. So it really becomes an affordable place to come up and for an event like this and do an event and stay over and enjoy a beautiful breakfast. They got the best breakfast food in the whole world.
Yeah, it's just good times.
So remember, as we always say, there's adventure around every bend.
Just got to get out there and create your own adventure.
At your leisure.